with this, what
Speaking of seniors, uh, do you guys have good interaction stories? How was
Okay, where are we putting this? According to that, we can talk
Exactly.
about it.
Where are we putting this? Because see,
this
the thing
will
is,
probably go up on YouTube, I guess. Yeah.
okay, then bye-bye.
I'm not. Even I should
See,
share my story. So yeah.
see, the thing is, I believe VKP was actively involved in his Yerka elections, right?
No.
2015. Like
No,
you,
I don't think so.
your wingies, like Tushar and all was in the powerhouse
Yeah.
wing, if I'm not.
Yeah.
So like,
Etty was from my wing. Yeah.
oh, so like there was
There
some
was
amount
Etty, there
of.
was Pradeep, there was Vishwa, there was
I'm pretty
Tushar,
sure there
like-
was some pretty heavy interaction stories because of that.
see, I wasn't really involved. I'll come to that. So, speaking of stories, I ended up getting like 1,500, I don't know, 1,800, a discount of 1,800 on my first year cut textbook set because of interactions.
Oh, that's something good about it.
So
the
yeah,
exact
so like
opposite.
I went to this bunch of people, third years, I guess they had extra first year book sets they were selling off. They were like, so they actually introduced me to Eye to Eye. Like that was the first time I had heard the song Eye to Eye. So
Oh God,
So
Tahir. Wait, you are the one who showed me eye to eye. I just remember that right now.
yeah, I passed that legacy on. So yeah, so they were like, this is Eye to Eye. They showed me the video first time. I was like, what is this? And then they were like, so you mimic every step of his, you get 1,800 off of your books. I was like, this is a good deal. I'm taking this deal.
Wow.
So
I mean,
it was worth it. So
my interactions like
I'm just imagining a VKP who's like 6'2" or something like that. Yeah, and he's like I'm pretty sure he's close to some 90 kilos in weight.
yes.
You doing eye to
Eye
eye,
to
ka
eye.
that steps. Oh God.
Yep. And it wasn't
Oof.
just doing, I had to match it. Like I had to, like having only seen it once, it was playing on the side, I had to match it.
But you got the discount, so yeah.
I got the
Got the
discount.
discount, so that's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
discounts thing was
I mean, I've never had anything like that. You had
I
something
mean,
like that?
freshers.
no one. I haven't heard anyone get such kind of monetary deal out of.
I was offered. I was offered.
Interactions.
So. I
My
don't know, dude.
interaction-
These people just offered me free money and I took it.
It's good actually.
Yeah, I don't do that with everything, VKP.
My experience with interaction was like not kind of the thing you hear with people. Like I am lucky that I didn't have that kind of thing. Lucky or unlucky, I don't know. But it was just one time. I haven't told this to many people out of fear that I had only one interaction in my entire first year. A proper
Okay,
one.
so I had I guess 2 or 3. So yeah, but they were bad. Okay, I mean I can talk about it.
I had
That's
4.
it.
Can you
No,
believe it? I
we'll
actually
talk
had
about
only
it
4.
after we stop the recording.
Yeah.
I actually had only 4. I can't believe it at this point. I was interacted only 4 times in my entire first year, and one of them was an induction, so that even doesn't count.
Yeah, I mean one of them was freshers, pharma freshers, and I know
Oh, yeah.
Chandan was there for some reason. I don't know why he was there, but he was there.
Dude, see, Vineet, one thing you should realize is it doesn't matter which branch you're from. If you're a second or a third year, you just walk
Yeah,
into
you
whichever
just-
branch.
Just walk
Because
in.
you'll have friends in that branch, so you just walk in.
Yeah,
You're
they-
like,
I mean,
Chalo,
the
acha.
best thing was regional because I used to just the thing was Arnab was there, Mukherjee, and he was for Geetanjali, like the Bengali song, and there was Abhideep Tripathi from Utkal Samaj, which is the Odia song. I legit used to walk in just like that. In third year specifically, I just waltzed in and just ate the snacks.
Yeah.
That's how light
That's
it was.
nice.
Yeah,
See, I didn't
you
know
just
what
walk in.
regional Asok I belonged to because I was not that North Indian to go to Baitak or this thing. And the only thing they had for Karnataka was called Kasturi, which was
Yeah.
not exactly in Asok because
Uh-huh.
I don't know, it was not very active. So.
See, this regional thing is that's what I went to the Gujarati also. Okay, I'm
Okay.
Oh
from
God.
family
I
background.
think I would have gone, but I did not want to go.
So this Gujarati. So one thing about Gujarati people is they don't concern themselves with things like this. They are like, हाँ मैं मेरा पढ़ाई और मेरा placement मेरा CG done.
What?
Paisa.
That's it. Like at least till
I mean,
2017
that's
batch.
to be fair, that's the fastest track to Paisa. So that's the
Yeah,
Yes.
The
So like till
Gujarati.
oh, that's
2017. Till
that's the
20,
Gujo.
Oof,
17
stereotypes,
batch.
guys. Stereotypes.
Till 2017 batch, 90% or say 95% of the Gujarati population is in CS. Okay.
Wait,
So
what?
Even in
Seriously?
2019
yes,
batch. Yeah.
Possibly
Yeah,
Butch and all.
Even in
actually,
19 batch.
that is
yes,
true.
that is
Yeah.
Oh,
true.
that is true.
And in
Shit.
our batch,
Damn.
I remember the freshers, Gujarati freshers. So like the seniors were literally shocked that in our batch majority were in Phoenix. Majority Gujarati were in Phoenix.
They're like, you let me
So
down, boys.
Like, dude, what weird statistic is this to be
Yeah, this
to
is
be
very
shocked by?
weird.
yes,
It's like
yes.
हम
Even
तो
I was shocked
CS
at this.
expect कर रहे थे, तुम लोग Phoenix से आ गए हो. Like, what
See,
is this?
See, the thing is, I'll tell you one thing. The one thing with Gujarati culture is that these people will go out of the state only when they get a good opportunity. So they will get out of Gujarat only if they get CS. Otherwise, they'll study. There are pretty good colleges in Gujarat as well, local colleges.
Acha.
I mean, to be
Even
fair, I'll give you
Ah,
that. Like,
See,
there's a
that is
similar
true.
culture with Kerala. Like, it's not exactly like that, but the thing is, it's less about going outside for opportunities and more about like we don't just want to leave. So, like, for me specifically, there were a lot of people, and I kid you not, we might be very high on the literacy rate and all that crap, but there were quite a few people who literally told me, you got into bits, you didn't get government seat, why are you going outside Kerala, why are you going
exactly.
to Hyderabad? So the thing is, it might not be that high, and it doesn't matter if you have if you had a good opportunity in Kerala state as well. They'll literally just ask you, if you are not IIT, why are you going outside Kerala? That's legit the mentality, and it matters because our 1 year of education in Kerala state is like 8,000 bucks. That's it. That's tuition, everything
Because of
inclusive.
that. I think
It's if I
maybe it's because of that.
it's
Because
7,225 per year. That's it.
that's
wow.
It. Like legit,
okay.
if we had other advances from our 2 years combined, we
You
still
would
would
have
have been
had
able. I would have had an education.
you would have had a degree and some change left.
Way more. So that's the thing. There's
So,
that.
But
There's,
Bangalore colleges
also,
actually come in top 20 and all, but still people
yeah.
prefer to go out. I mean, see, in my batch itself, including Archana and all of these people, we were like so many of us were there from Bangalore, and most of these guys were from the same school. So you can just imagine that.
Yeah.
I think 20 odd were from the same school. Which is
Yeah,
weird.
this thing I'll tell you
speaking
now.
about that, the weird thing is like there were there are three Malyus from my batch. There's Vaishnavi Nandakumar, there's Irfan Sharani who ended up being my wingy, and then there's me. The irony was that if we hadn't gotten bits, then we would have still been in the same college in the same branch.
Ooh.
All three of us would have
Wow.
been in mechanical because that's the most sought after branch in Kerala, and we would have been in the same college as well in Kerala.
Oh.
So
That's
that's
Wait.
the extent of how much it's the
Wait.
second priority.
Hang on. So coming back to something Vineet said, you said one of your interactions was an induction, right? Or was that Jimmy who said that?
That's
Jimmy said that.
Yeah,
Jimmy.
Jimmy. Yeah. Which
Dramatics,
one?
I'm guessing.
Dramatics, definitely
Yes,
dramatics.
definitely has to be
Please
dramatics.
share induction. Like, see, I personally don't have any induction experiences because I was not part of any departments, and the only clubs. Yeah,
No, I
I
have
was.
good induction stories. My
the
induction stories
first
are
time
good.
I ever met you was in Bitsman. I remember
Informal.
that specifically
Yeah,
because
Bitsman
I
is
thought you
not
were
a
first year, right?
department. Bitsman is
it's a
not a department.
society,
Yeah. So
but
so I'll
it's
tell you.
a part
It
of an
has
Yeah.
induction.
extracurricular.
I'll tell you. The club societies departments I was part of was Journal Club, Bitsman, and that's about it. I
So,
was part of Quiz Club. I was part of the Quiz Club. and I was never officially a member of ILAS. Like I was not a member of ILAS. I just liked working for VM. So it's just JC, Bitsman, Quiz Club. That's about it. So my induction for JC was with Sharad Hota. It
Oh,
was
wow.
it was the nicest senior interaction I have ever
Yeah,
had.
he's very nice. Honestly. Even my first interaction with him was on his farewell, and that was also one of the nicest interactions I had.
Right.
So would you
So
guys believe it if I told you that I didn't know that he was a secretary ever?
yeah, it's
He
that's
he
Sharad.
just
That's Sharad.
seemed too toned down for it. Like legit,
Yeah.
you would never expect this guy to be the secretary of something like Journal Club, which has spotlight for as one of its article series.
Yeah.
So this the induction thing. Induction thing for me, it was like I was, as I told you, like enthusiastic, पढ़ाई करने वाला attitude I came in. So from what I learned from senior departments, पढ़ाई करना है तो नहीं join करना है.
It's
Still, I
right.
had this.
Who was this
It's
good
right.
senior? I don't know.
Who was
Mostly
this
his
good
stories.
nice guy?
Yeah.
I don't remember. This was like the general perception or something. I don't know. I just picked
That
up on
Really?
it.
that's
The general
I-
perception was go for all department inductions, go for everything.
That Vinny, that did happen with 18 batch. That's the thing. So you guys imparted that pretty well into 17 batch. That I'll agree. Most of us went running behind departments club. I mean, I want to talk, but
yeah, you're
Yeah, you are one to talk.
but 18 batch had legit negative enthusiasm in the majority. There were people. There were like the few people that were there. They started going pretty well into departments, but they maintained academics as well. There were like the ratio of the non-academic, like reducing academics to go into departments and things. That was very low compared to our batch to their batch. They were very academically oriented, and that's a good thing.
That's
But
a
at the
very good
same time, it took a
But
huge
that didn't
beating
end
with
up.
our. Yeah, but
Yeah,
the thing is,
No,
it
that
this
ended
is
didn't
your
work
up.
out.
free
You
labor
can't-
for fests.
It worked out
Yeah,
actually. It worked
exactly.
out for you. Yeah, on an individual perspective, it worked out pretty well. But when you take it with respect to fests and things like that, it went the opposite direction.
Good.
Because
So I'll
See,
tell you
they
what
were like-
happens there. Okay. So departments rely on first years during fest to do a lot of the footwork.
exactly.
A lot of the
Especially.
footwork is done by
Gosh.
first years. Because what happens is first year में लोग join करते हैं, they'll do all the work and then they'll realize, okay, maybe it's not for me, maybe it's time to like focus on my studies. And then second and third year, you don't have very many people staying in the department.
The third year, only the heads stay pretty much.
Yeah, so
That's three
so-
people.
Yeah.
That's it.
right. So what happens is like they bleed people out like crazy. So their only chance of successfully pulling off a fest is, apart from making
First
second
year.
years run around, is to get a lot of first years inducted and make them do the work.
Yeah,
Like,
that makes sense.
The like rule of thumb for second years is basically the person either wants a post in the department or the person wants a post somewhere else.
Somewhere
That's
else.
pretty much the rule of thumb. SU, SMC, or like let's say some other department that somehow
Yeah.
correlates with this. There's always a rule. That's always the rule of thumb.
Yeah.
There are exceptions, there's no doubt. But
I mean, I
that's
never
pretty much-
gave any induction for any department. So
Me neither.
You did not get
I
any
remember-
inductions.
I have.
no, I
one
give
department.
inductions for clubs, but not for departments. I did
Okay,
not want to
okay,
get
yeah,
any
yeah. All
department.
right, all right.
So
Yeah.
I
Gotta
gave
keep
I
quiet
gave inductions for one department. I gave induction for one department. That is because I was the head of my school. So like I organized 2 or 3 events there. So I was like, ठीक है चलो dope organizing professional events. So I'll go in dope and see what was that. So even in departments, in hindsight, it was not a good decision. So I chose the department that took the least people
Yep.
to give
yes.
inductions for.
I mean,
So-
the irony was.
And
okay.
they I don't know. I should I
So
bring
what
up
is-
stuff like that?
No. Let Tarun finish that out. I'm pretty sure
So,
there's
yeah.
a lot of juice in this.
Yeah, there's pretty much stuff.
Look at Jimmy. Jimmy is like, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, even I was getting there only, but yeah, I say Tarun, you speak, because I mean I was learning and I was not that great. But then during their so they have this Shangri-La, right, which is the precursor to Pearl and that thing. That's what they had back then. So dramatics night basically. And they're like, I was walking from mess one, and the senior who I knew from the inductions as well, and he's like, hey, do you want to perform for this? And I'm like, obviously, why would I not
Like,
want
why
to
would you
perform
say
for it?
no?
Why would I not
Do,
want to perform for it?
do you
And
ask stupid questions?
yeah, this is paper, okay, Nikhilesh.
Oh
Yeah,
God!
so it felt very nice when he came and asked for this, and then that is how it started. Got to perform, and then I did not give inductions again, and it took me back till 2-2 to go back to dramatics and start performing again. So yeah, I mean, I had a gap there, but
Frustrating.
still
Dude,
fun.
Jimmy,
You
So
became a
so
script
since
Jimmy,
writer
Jimmy,
after
one
that.
sec, Isha. Jimmy, your
yeah,
point brings me to a very nice thing. Like usually people go around asking me like, what would you change about your college life? Like, what would you like do differently? One thing that I always say is get people more used to checking their emails. Like, make email communication the preliminary instead of Facebook groups. Like that is something I always say to people because like you're just not used to checking your email. Like so much communication has gone missed. Like so much miscommunication happens because people just don't check their emails. Like first year you come, they're like chalo, like we'll put you in these Facebook groups, you stay here for updates, you send us friend requests. But like I don't know, I just personally feel like it would have been better if people stuck to emails over
I
Facebook.
got I got an anecdote for this. This is like exactly what it. So the thing was, when vendor management committee was formed, there were only three of us, but obviously that wasn't enough manpower. So we
Yeah,
started to expand it, and we were like, forget it. We'll have first yearites and second yearites just taken in on a trial basis. They will eventually have to take over as well in
yeah,
some capacity. So we can like start teaching them a bit. So I was like, I want to say you guys can select how much ever you want from SU or how much ever you want from SWD. The SU, I was like I know that these guys are not going to work specifically because they have their HRF duties, and they are more or less going to go for an SU post later on somewhere. So I
yeah.
knew that, like, SWD, I was more hopeful, but and because Pranay was the person as well, they knew their work. So I was like, sure, why not? But I need a few more people from general body. First thing what I did was I put up a post on Facebook. That's it. That was the last of Facebook up till the last induction or like the final list. Because after all of that, what I did was I legit just mailed everybody for everything. So whatever they had, I told them like these are the things that you should fill in. I did not say that they'll get emails on it.
Yeah, because like you, if you're working in such a committee, you want somebody who is on top of communication, like who monitors their email, who like
Exactly.
who's quick to reply, who just checks their email. Because after a while, like right now, nothing happens. Like there is no NCSU Facebook group. It all happens in email. Like it all happens like you email profs, they email you back. Everything happens over email. So that's one thing. And another thing that I feel is severely underutilized at BITS is Moodle, because CMS is extremely underutilized at BITS. Like there are so many things it can do,
I can agree.
which just doesn't happen. So they
You mean
just
like quizzes and all that? That's happening since this year.
not
That's why.
no. I don't mean
No, the grade
quizzes. I mean
upload thing is also there.
like
Like I
you can
didn't.
do.
Seriously?
Yeah, and when was the last time you saw a student make a forum post on CMS? When did you see that happen?
Uh,
Well, that's possible is the question at this
It
point.
is.
yeah,
It
the
It
is.
is
forums are there.
possible. It
It
is
is
possible.
possible.
Forums are there.
It
oh,
is possible. Yeah.
I've seen
I didn't know.
more
Like
such
our
questions
prof
in
is
imparters.
promoting people. Now, one of the courses, one of our professors is using Piazza for discussions and forums and stuff. Like he can easily switch to CMS, but he chose to use the other platform. I don't know why.
Right. So like you can do so many, like so much stuff can happen over Moodle. Like you can just take like polls, like instead of sending out Google form for how many people want this or this, like just add a forum post there, let people talk there. Like just put
I,
all
I
communication in one forum.
I think the problem with that is like there are like two problems. First thing is students like more or less always prefer readily accessible like sources like WhatsApp and all, which is a bad thing. Like we should
Yeah.
sort of
But
like
CMS app
move
is
with the
there.
opposite.
There is a CMS app.
That's the thing. So,
No, but the features are not
CMS
there
app
on
is
that.
like
No, that's
the
the
features
problem.
are not there, and the CMS app is not even developed by anybody. It's developed by Crux.
Yeah.
That's where it starts. Like the
Okay.
thing is,
See,
it should go
Jimmy,
both ways.
the issue with that is it's see at this point you're the student. It's on you to stay updated. Like it's not anybody
Oh,
else's responsibility, right?
yeah.
So it's on you to like actively look at CMS, see if the professor has posted any announcements, see if like, there's any homeworks to be done, see if there's anything to be submitted there. So that's on you. That's not on the professor.
Yeah,
So
like
I
that's
just
the
feel
thing.
like that shift of responsibility has to happen at some point. Like
It's
I know
hard.
people have tried to make the switch from Facebook groups to email and email groups and such multiple times, and it just doesn't happen because it's just so deep rooted right now. Like at this point, the only hope is to just completely uproot it, like completely pull it out. Otherwise, it's not going to happen.
The thing is, see, the reason why I think like Facebook will still survive up to a point is because it connects across generations. So that's one thing, right? Like the thing is, if I put up a post right now,
You will get,
VKP will get it. VKP will get it, or like
yeah,
he'll at least see
that's,
somewhere.
yep.
But the
Email
thing
is
is,
good for
will
smaller groups, honestly,
exactly
because
email is good for on-campus things. Like if you
That's what I'm
want to
saying.
go a bit also outside, then that
That's what I'm
starts
saying.
messing
Leave the
things up.
alumni
because
Facebook groups as it is. On campus communication, like induction notices, academic
I
stuff,
think
switch to
Pilani
but
email.
that
campus
started
is like
actually.
that a
That
bit.
started with I
Like
guess it's 17 or 18 itself.
I
Like all
remember
the
there was an initiative to do that. I don't think it stuck for a
See,
long time.
what BKP, what you're talking
no,
about is like the unified induction department and the notices thing now. SWD has been crying to people because SWD, when they develop the website now,
Yep.
you know that there's a column for department notices and events
Yep.
and stuff. So my friend who is currently the SWD coordinator, he's like, we kept on shouting to clubs and departments to send us the notices and we post it on the website, but we don't receive anything to post. And they say
There you
that
go.
we are not going to take the extra initiative to go out of our way, pick up notices and post it.
That makes
that
sense
I'll agree.
because
Like the
that
thing
makes
is,
sense.
if
Yeah.
not CMS, SWD app is pretty good at that. Like if not, like
Yes.
CMS for academics only, that makes sense. But for everything else, it's better to just put it on SWD rather.
There
Yeah,
you
they
go.
We
have
can just
the thing is facility is there, but people are not
Nobody is
utilizing it.
people are
using
not
it. Yeah.
using, definitely that is one other thing. Like that's predominantly because of the culture that Facebook mein sab kuch milega, Facebook everybody
Exactly.
checks and things like that. I
Yep.
mean, many people might not even know that we have grace system or something like that via SWD, or that there are things like that as well. So I mean, few people,
Yeah.
not a lot.
Again,
Pretty
this
much everyone.
club inductions and all is thing
yeah.
depends on that. Now. Many people miss out on that. Because
Yeah. So, taking up VKP's point, if there was something that you could change about your freshman year, do something differently, what would it be? I mean, I'm talking experience-wise. What would it be?
Attend classes.
Like
Attend
legend
more
CG.
first
classes.
one,
I
that
wouldn't say
is by
attend
default.
classes. I
Just
wouldn't say
like
attend
study
classes
more,
per
get
se.
a better grade.
That's by default, I think, for every
Like
one of us.
the
BKP
thing is,
speaking.
I specifically won't say I would want to attend more classes, but I would say that I would want to study more at the time when I wasn't attending classes, like
Right.
during the
Use that time
particular
to
time.
actually study
See,
instead of
because
just
the thing
sleeping.
is,
Wasting time. Yeah.
frankly, you don't need to always attend classes to get a good grade.
I
There
agree.
are a lot of people who, I mean, Rohit Vedala is the best example of that as well. He didn't attend props stats well. I'm pretty sure he still got a good grade. He's a 9-pointer.
He
That's the best
obviously got a
example.
good grade. He was
That's
very
the
good.
best example. You don't need to attend classes per se, but you need to study.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
need to study to get a good grade. That's no doubt. Unless you want to take the whole copy karke or things like that, that's a completely different topic altogether.
That
But you have
doesn't
to
work,
study.
guys. That doesn't
That
That,
is
work.
that,
You
Even
can
see,
offline, I
that,
sometimes.
think.
that doesn't work.
Somewhere.
Like that's a very
Yeah.
scenario specific thing because
It's a
And specifically in offline, it doesn't work.
It
Online
doesn't
it
work.
is.
It
See,
works,
And
but it's very
again,
limited. You
it's
can't see. You have to
there's no
study a
use to it.
certain amount to
Yeah.
understand what you have to do for the exam.
Ha. And at that point, you might as well study the entire thing.
Exactly. You might as well
and
study.
plus,
See, like
guys, you get some back. So, and I've
Yeah.
seen people
exactly.
get it firsthand in the
Your
classmates.
batchmate.
A lot of them, okay, not just
Vinith,
not
can you
every.
tell the particular reason, the methodology he employed to get the sem back?
Yeah, so basically these guys, so that day actually, I had warned them before only that, this professor who was the HOD then, he knows about your tactics that you guys use in exams and you guys should not do this. So this is back in my 2-1 complicate time. And so these guys are still like, no, we'll be cool and we'll do this. Okay. So these guys, this guy was frisked. Okay. He's been checked completely. Nothing is found with him. Another guy's checked. They find a phone. He gets a sem back. Then this guy, the professor announces that whoever has anything, just keep it on the table. And at that point, 8 people stand up and go keep their phones / tablets on the desk. This happens, and after that,
1 second. Tablet?
Yeah,
How
like
Where did they
people get
fix that?
one person had a tablet. So
that's
Oh.
I
okay.
just wanted
I
where
mean,
I
how can
don't.
you even hide it or,
Yeah, like
no, she's
what?
like, I just had it. It just happened to be near me for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just had it.
Mhm.
Like I just slipped.
Just had.
Okay.
So I mean, see, she did not. At that point, there was no sem back for her, but at a later point, she still did get a sem back. So yeah, it got balanced out for some reason.
Wait,
I mean, I
the
shouldn't say it in that way. Yeah, the
frankly,
other part of the this thing. So what happens is this guy who got frisked, he was checked completely. There was nothing with him. He goes to the washroom. He's like, I'll go. He tells the professor, I'm going to the washroom.
Okay.
So this is when the system of writing your name and the time you go
Right.
Mhm.
to the washroom, you have to write it. And this was the first person who did that. He goes. So my professor, he tells to the ID guy, because see, this guy one guy has already been caught, right? So the ID guy comes and he's like, so my professor tells the ID guy, go behind this guy. I definitely know that he went to the library or something. The ID guy goes
Oh.
in the library. This guy is opening his phone and trying to see something, and he gets caught. And he also got caught on the CCTV camera in the library. So
I heard he used a textbook
Oh.
though.
no,
It
mobile.
doesn't matter at that point, does it?
I don't think he knew. I don't think so. He knew which textbook was there. So
Oof.
it would have taken him a long time to find.
I mean, the thing is, it's because of 16 batch and 17 batch specifically that a lot of the exam patterns change. So, like starting with our 1-1-1-2, we had the writing system. Like we had to write when we leave and when we enter.
So it's
Like
because
Yeah,
of
this was
you.
because of him.
It's
This
because of
started
you
with him.
people that I had to do
This
this.
started with him. Yeah. this
Yeah,
started
but
with
what
him.
happens is the next year, what happens is we start getting people start getting smarter, right? So there are more complicated systems, and the 2 minute, 3 minute, that is way more than enough. What happens then is, because then the thing is cooperative cheating starts becomes a thing. So literally everybody that are going to cooperate are going to be in the same row or like same this thing or something like that. And
So fun fact.
exactly.
While people were getting caught in my part of the class, the other part, nicely, all of them are copying. So this
Oh.
is even hilarious.
Oh.
So they
There's
were
this
just
portion.
taking advantage of whatever
Yeah.
was happening. Oh my
Sacrifice
Mhm.
god.
Yeah.
For the greater good. For the greater good.
For the
for the
greater
greater.
But the worst thing is I warned them and they still went ahead and did this. So
I mean, like the
That's-
professor would have
That's not the
come
worst thing. That's the
forward at
no, the
some
best point that you
point.
get to.
professor had openly challenged us, the lot that went to classes and were regular. They're like, see, I know about these things that your friends are doing, and I'm going to catch them. This time I'm ready to catch them, and I'm going to catch them. He said this openly, and he's like, I'm going to
Oh
catch
my
them.
god.
And then
Sure.
still
Even
these
then,
guys
if they
did
did,
this.
then it was like suicide, I think. Even if they went ahead.
Exactly
The
my
guy,
point.
So, at
that
that point,
is-
why? Just why?
An unstoppable
Oh my
God,
force and
okay.
immovable object. I mean, the thing is, afterwards, after they did get smarter, they got smarter, we got smarter, and even then they also realized that this isn't working out. Like the washroom, the timing is just not enough. That's when for 18 batch and I think for
Seating arrangement they
19,
posted.
yeah, seating arrangement started being
That
posted.
came from
That
mass
was when it
media.
started. That was when
Dude,
everything
dude.
started
Okay,
like
so I'll tell
scraping
you.
across.
Okay, so I'll tell you something. Okay, so I had 3 courses in my final semester. Okay, 3 courses. One discipline elective, one open elective, one triple AF triple one that I was repeating. So the other 2 courses were small classes. Like one had like 20 people, the other had like 15, 20 people. So they were small classes. So the prof is like, sit wherever you want. I don't care. And then I come to Triple E, they're like seating arrangement, like you have to sit here, you have to do this. I'm like, when did all this happen? Because at
So
this point, I wasn't on campus for an entire semester. Like I finished my PS2 and I come back, they're like, you have to sign your name, you have to sit in this spot, like you can't do this, you can't do this. I'm like, what is happening here?
So, like, I don't
That's
think
a
that
thing,
seating
right?
arrangement
Like
came in 1-2. I don't think there was seating arrangement in the 1.
it was in your 1-1 I think, but it
It
started
was
being
there.
implemented for the compre if I'm not wrong. It wasn't there for
yeah,
basic.
I
yeah,
remember
that
my
I
Triple E
think,
Compre
I think
had
Compre
seating
was there.
arrangement. I remember my
I
Compre
think
Triple E
Compre
had
had
one
seating.
seating arrangement, yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Compre
we
seating.
cannot
like
talk about copying in an online semester because, I mean, you
I
cannot
don't.
monitor it no
It's
It's
matter
it's a
what.
work
See,
problem.
okay,
it's
see,
not
there are,
hard. I'll
I'll
tell you
tell you
that.
something. There are ways to prevent copying even in an online semester. Like one of my professors, actually two of my professors in I have 3 courses right now. So two of my professors have done an extremely good job of preventing like just copying and
Whatever
plagiarism
you
in
say,
assignments.
VKP, you don't say it on this YouTube video. You say it afterwards, not
No, no.
here. In case profs see it.
oh my
I'm
god.
repeating 5 courses this time. I'm not going
Exactly.
to take any chances.
Exactly.
No, I mean, no, I'm not going to say what they're doing. I'm just saying that it can be done. There are ways it can be done, and it's it's there. Like if the professor genuinely wants to do it, it can be done. But
Exactly.
it's
Like,
an impractical solution when you have to take care of like 300 students in one class.
true.
It's a
And
very impractical solution.
Yeah, the class
the thing
size
is,
comes into
it's
picture.
also like the thing is, you have to realize that the students themselves are not like dumb. Like you have reached at this particular level of college, you're smart in what you do. I mean, some of them are smart in what you do. Some are pretty
Oof,
much dumb regardless.
oh,
oof,
18 batch, 19 batch.
Just saying.
oof, Jimmy.
In your approaches, I'm not saying that it's 18 batch, 19 batch. See, there are dumb fucks everywhere. Even in my batch, there are a lot. There are people who get very close to copying. There are people who just miss. There are people who get
I'm
caught
not
very
even talking
badly.
about my batch. I
I'm
already
not
told the
talking about
story.
your batch. But my point is ki it doesn't matter. Like if you want to copy that badly, if you have to copy that badly, some guy will make some methodology for copying somewhere or the other. It's like it's a given. Like if
Need is the
anything,
mother of invention.
I mean, chinks in the armor, failures in a system. That's like you have hundreds of thousands of movies saying exactly the same thing. Then why wouldn't it be there for an exam as well for any I mean, Jurassic Park might be the best example of that. There is going to be
Okay.
the entire park fails down because there is one small unanticipated thing that they start breeding themselves. So like I just finished reading the book that it was based on. That's why I'm bringing this example.
Mhm.
So the thing is, there's always a problem in any system. Like, and the thing
There
is,
is, there is.
it's hard. It depends on how easily it's exploitable and how many people exploit it.
See, I
I
How
get
would
does it?
go
that.
ahead to say it's not a matter of that. It's just so nobody can entirely prevent like 100% say that the student is not copying, right? They, especially in an online semester, the only thing they can do is make it as difficult as they can. Like make it extremely difficult and discourage people from doing that is what they can do.
True.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
I mean, it's very unfair when people copy and become toppers and things like that. I mean, that is just sad, straight out sad.
That's just sad. Yeah, that's just unfair.
Only
But
that. So
just
I mean,
I think we
to be
should
fair, I
go.
put in my work, so that's the.
yeah.
Googling is not hard, easy, okay? Just say.
Jimmy,
Okay, kidding.
Jimmy,
I
using
want this one.
using smartwatches was the latest thing when I left
Yeah,
campus.
that was the thing.
Oh my God. Oh.
I mean,
I don't
there
think professors
was.
were that unaware that smartwatches were they were easily caught like
I heard someone was like
My
trying
friend
to
never
use
got caught.
Google glasses or something like that.
Oh
I'm
my
not sure if it's
God.
our campus, but I'm pretty sure somewhere someone
I
using
wouldn't
I
be
think people
surprised.
have all slides in their watches and then like they just use,
Yeah, exactly
yeah.
that.
I mean, but I think professors have, they know
Become
about
smarter.
I
smartwatches
mean,
now.
after a point, a few professors even like end up like these guys put in this much effort, might as well just let them. There are like it's a very rare instance sort of thing, but it may happen on how lucky you are. Like they'll just be like, shit, this is good. Oh, this is so smart. How did he even do that? And just be like, okay, this much effort at least he put into something, might as well get away with it. I mean, but it's like those very borderline because it's like very borderline. Like it's a 1 in a billion possibility kind of thing. You won't see that anywhere, and most of the time it happens because the student themselves came across and like said, we did something like this." And there was this one guy from Pilani campus I remember who did this crazy thing where he changed the formatting or something like that of a file that he had to upload for a for a computer exam. I don't know what happened, but anyway, he exploited it in such a way that the readable material is changes according to the question.
Wow.
I-
Like
I-
at that point, you just
at that
Yeah.
point, you might as well. And the thing is, he literally after all the grading and everything like that of the course happened, the prof was like, "I know you copied, but I don't know how you copied." So what he does is he goes to the prof and he literally sits there for an hour and says like, "This is how I did it." The prof is like, "Why did you tell me that?" And the guy, I kid you not, goes says that once you correct this, I'll have to find a new way to crack the system. So that is a new way for me. That's a new learning experience for me. Like,
I
bro,
guess
you're putting in that much effort to actually learn stuff. Might as well learn the stuff.
Yeah, true.
All right.
fun stuff.
So I mean, this is,
Too
going, I
much
mean, this is
copying.
really
Let's
interesting.
copy.
This
This
is
is white hat
interesting. This
senior
is a
level.
very interesting topic to talk on, but since we're running out of time, one last question quickly. I mean, no beating about the bush, no going to other topics because we're running out of time. What would be your advice to juniors? Quickly.
Oh, shit.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so yeah,
Chronologically.
Yeah, we'll go
chronologically.
chronologically
VKPs.
and yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
all.
finish it.
I mean, to
Uh,
be fair, VKP is the best person to say also because he's in his masters, and I don't think VKP did extraordinarily well in his
I did
studies
not
as
know.
well.
I did not know.
He did no.
So yeah, I would say don't neglect your grades, but at the same time don't spend your time as if your life depends on them. Like maintain a good GPA and make sure that you're exploring other stuff, figuring out what you want to do in life, because in the end, if you're not happy in life, then it doesn't really matter.
Makes sense. Vinith, you
Yeah,
go
we
next.
continue with that yeah, try to figure out what you want to do in life because there is so much of stuff you can explore at bits, the clubs, the academics, even somewhere lying between that as well, can you approach profs, go to them, talk to them that you want to do something in this particular field. I mean, a lot of the profs are very chill except a few, and you can talk to them and be like, I want to do something in this, and they would guide you honestly. So, like, take up those opportunities and try to find what you're interested in.
All right. Makes sense.
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
These guys pretty much summed all of it, but I'll just give in my side as well. So the thing is, in the last few years, there has been a lot of profs coming into campus, and they bring in with themselves a lot of different fields as well. Because I remember Swati Alok ma'am used to be the one who used to take some very basic management type courses. But then Raghunathan sir came in literally just teaching management courses. So there are campus, which I frankly love about is that they're expanding their horizons. They are diverging into fields that you'd never see in an engineering college, which is a good thing. So the thing is, the best thing that you can do is figure out as early as possible what you actually want to do later on. Like VKP figured out pretty early on. Vineet figured out pretty early on. He wanted to do something in pharma, and he was pretty much focused onto that. For me specifically, I figured it out a bit on the late side. So I kept going in and out with different things. So like at some point I was like mechanical karega, but CG nahi hai, so no light on mechanical. Then I was like finance karega, finance CG nahi hai, or the course, or it's just not interesting as it seems. So light on that. Then back to mechanical. Then that's definitely not that. Then management courses started coming up. Then that's when I start figuring out that this is probably something what I want to do. But the thing is, it starts getting a bit late. So figuring it out early on, it depends on a lot of things. First thing, how much you talk to other people. Attending classes is paramount. I'm not going to disagree with that. VKP and I probably have the least grades in amongst all of us over here.
I would agree to that. Yeah.
Both of us have the least grades, but the thing is, you have to have a certain amount of seed. You need to have a 7 above to qualify for most things. So maintain your
I
grades definitely.
Yeah, that I agree. There were a few programs that I applied to specifically in Europe, masters in embedded systems and such, which just straight up rejected me, saying I did not have the cumulative GPA required to get an admit. Like they just genuinely, they in the rejection letter they sent, they said that you don't have the grades required. So
Was it UK by any chance?
it
In
was not
UK,
UK. It was not the UK. No.
UK specific, like quite a few colleges actually ask for a stringent. Like one of
Yeah.
the things that I'm looking at is an MIM program, a Masters in Management program. Now the thing is, it's generally
That
in
may
labs
not
as well.
be true for management. I mean, check
Exactly,
it
it may
again.
not.
It may not
It
be
may
true.
not be true. However, there are some programs somewhere or the other. So the top three are LBS, HEC, and all that. But LBS specifically asks for a 7.0 cutoff. That
See, if
is
you're looking
very
at
stringent.
LBS and LSC and places like that, see, these things
Exactly.
will ask for CGPA because, I mean, see, they want hard work. See, that is the kind of portrayal that they have.
Yeah.
But if you look at something which is not conventional, which is different than usual stuff, then they would not. Because, see, one of my friends only went for a energy systems thing, a master's, and he did not have the CGPA, but he had the passion, he had the project, so he got in. So it's not difficult.
All right.
It's a general. I mean, we have to agree that a higher CGPA helps a lot more.
It does help. It does
It
help.
does
It
help.
does.
Yes.
It
It makes
helps.
things easier in life.
It
Definitely.
makes
Yeah.
It gives you
it's
the
not
liberty
just
to
now
choose.
us. Frankly, it's the thing is, we might not. I mean, I don't blame a first year and a second year for not seeing it at the beginning itself, but it helps on a much more later on. Like most of the people that I've seen say that MBA is something that they want to do later in life. But the thing is, your latest degree ka CG plays a pretty high role in your MBA admits as well. It's not something that's good to see. I mean, your work experience counts. I'm not saying no there. Your overall portfolio counts, but your CGPA also counts. So don't
Yeah, so
neglect your
basically what you're
grades.
saying is don't neglect your grades and figure out what you
Don't
want to do
neglect your
early
Yep.
grades. Don't neglect your grades.
Yeah.
Figure out as early as possible. You see,
and
the
talk to
thing is,
people.
Like, don't be
talk to
lazy about
people.
your grades. If you can do
All
it,
right.
just do. Like, if you're
Don't be
good at it,
lazy
just
in
do it.
general. That's it. Like
Yeah.
always keep moving. Like
All
go
right. All
if
right.
you never spend like a time in, like, I'm not saying that don't watch TV series or something like that, but limit your entertainment to a point. Like you might not get as much as you want from there as
Okay.
much as you would get by talking to
Mm-hmm.
someone, or like keep moving.
Yeah.
Clubs,
Okay.
Interacting
departments,
with people is
anything
important.
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
Clubs and
Okay.
departments also work, but just keep
Yeah.
moving. That's it.
All right. That makes sense. Tarun, do you have anything to
So,
add to
like,
this?
first thing, I completely agree with Jimmy. Like, figure out what you have to do as early as possible, because the phase he said of going into different streams, I'm going through that phase currently, being in my third year, and I wish that I had
It
sorted out
hits
my
you in the third
priorities.
year, you know. It hits you the
Eh,
most in the
It
third
hits
yeah.
you
year.
Yeah.
horribly in the third year.
So, like, unlike people who had figured out IT, they did all their work in summer and they had projects, they got placed in SIs, and I'm like reconsidering my priorities. So it is like, it is, I can't blame if someone doesn't see, but just try to figure out, talk to all type of seniors, and like, and not those Jimmy talked about priorities academically. So I'm gonna like, when I came into the campus, I was like overwhelmed by the number of departments and clubs and everything, like what to join. So I would like advise, like, in the first 2 months, go through everyone, talk to everyone about clubs and departments, and pick out a few, handful of them, like pick out one or two departments or one or two clubs that are genuinely you are interested in, and keep working in them. Because if because somewhere in between you might realize that engineering was not your forte. So in that, if in that scenario, the clubs and that experience helps. And like I'll like admit this, that JC has helped me see something beyond my engineering years. So just keep a lookout for that also. But just pick out some choosy number of clubs and departments that you think are interesting and will help you in the future. So that's
All
it.
right. Yeah,
Like
that
Tarun's
makes a
right
lot of sense.
about that, because like the thing is, see, if especially if you want to branch out from something that is not your particular for like it's not at all relevant to your field or something like that, like management for example, it goes completely off. You need to show extracurriculars and you need to show other things that is not at all relevant. You can,
Yep.
I mean, 5 to 6 open electives will only go that far, frankly, especially if it doesn't have a minor cut tag and all that. You'll have to show actual practical experience there.
I mean, added to that, I even talked about my clubs and departments in my admits.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, in my interviews, and it actually added somewhere, you know, like the innovation part, the part where, you know, you try to create something new. At
Mm-hmm.
least, especially my time at Elas in dramatics, it actually helped me and helped them figure out that I was serious enough to take a new initiative in this.
Yeah.
So yes, so that
Ooh,
That's
actually
all
the
right.
helps.
that's the thing about clubs. Like clubs, may you're almost constantly generating something new. Somewhere or the other, it's something about
Yeah.
creation.
That's
In
fair.
departments,
Yeah.
it's like it's frankly in departments you just follow a set pattern somewhere or the other. I'm not saying that it's not creative or something like that, but it's more or less established per se. There is very little new things created.
But you see, like Jimmy told about management, he was like your experience in departments and like suggesting new things in departments adds to your management skills now. So that's
Definitely,
where
it
it
does.
helps.
It does, but I'm saying that at the same time, you have much more of a chance of creating something new in a club rather than a department. I mean,
Correct.
that's you have in both. Like, and at the end of the day, a department will look better on a resume as well for a management position. There's no
Fair
doubt
enough.
about that.
So in conclusion, what all of us agree on is don't neglect your grades, don't neglect your extracurriculars, figure out what you want to do. Don't
Yes.
shy away from talking to people and just be
Balance out
happy in life
your priorities.
and
That's
figure out what your priorities
Figure
are in
out your
life.
priorities. Be happy. Be happy. That's it.
Anything
Yeah.
you have to add, Isha?
I mean, like,
No, I don't. I don't.
that is also a thing. Like, be happy is a huge thing. Like, especially in my first
Okay.
year and all,
Yeah.
that came out very badly, right?
Fair enough.
That
So
it was
All
a bit
right.
of
we
a
need
Yeah.
to
hard
figure
fix.
out what
Okay.
our
I
Okay.
think
happiness is.
that is a
Okay.
nice note for us to end on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Stay
That's it.
happy in
It
life.
was nice talking to all of you, and yeah, I'm so glad that we had this chat. And yeah, fine. I hope to see you all soon.